Hi, welcome to the Medium channel. Welcome to Tarot Time, and thank you for being here. Whether you're watching this live or as a video later on, if you're watching this live, it's 11:02 or 11:03 Eastern Time, and coming into a new moon. Lots is going on, and one thing I'll say right off is I've just been getting this sort of nagging feeling lately that we're gonna have some really big news story breaking this week or next. And as I'm talking, I'm seeing soldiers, so maybe something to do with conflicts or stuff like that. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself now. What we do on Sunday mornings on Tarot Time is we work with tarot. We do a meditation card. We do a 3-card spread as a forecast that may tap into things going on in your life personally, as well as what's going on in the world around us. And then I have other divination tools, and sometimes some channeled information comes through. So I'm going to, and also there's some thunderstorms in the area here in the Catskill Mountains. If I disappear abruptly, it's because we lost power, because that can happen in thunderstorms around here. But that's not going to happen. So Spirit's already saying, no, losing power. Okay, we're good. So I'll say a few quick hellos and dive right on in. Excuse me. Itchy nose. So let's see. I see all the fellow inmates are in. Just kidding. Hi, Colleen, Blindly Inspired, Millie, Mr. Floyd, Victoria, Carla, Laura, Victoria. Okay. And Children's School of Yoga. Hi, Doreen, also. So that's it so far on the chat. Hi, Felicia. So people, generally find us. So that's why in the beginning of these live streams, I talk a little bit. I say my hellos individually, because the YouTube system of notification, it usually takes a couple of minutes before people get that or they get on. But in any event, so big energies, big changes, big shifts that are going on. If you guys missed it last night, we did the entire July psychic forecast on the Medium channel. That's up as a video if you want to check that out after this. So we cover the whole month, and a lot of interesting things. We'll see if it all pans out or what percentage of it does, but certainly some interesting predictions came up for that. And all right. So, what are you guys saying? Something about beautiful trip in the mountains. Who's going to the mountains, Mr. Floyd? Well, you live near the mountains. Love and light. Heading into the mountains with a loose cell signal short. Oh, all right. Well, enjoy the Rockies, brother. Enjoy that. So, people are also getting on. A lot of you already know that we have a big retreat, a big weekend retreat coming up in the beginning of August. I still have a couple of openings if anyone's interested. I'm working directly with the master teachers for healing, empowerment, and spiritual awakening and growth. So it's going to be a great time in the Catskill Mountains, which are little hills compared to the Rockies. But anyways, enjoy. So else is going on? The moon just went into Taurus, so the moon is right now it's in a 10th square with Pluto, which is at right around a degree of Aquarius, and right now the moon is probably about 2 degrees of Taurus. So we just hit that square. So if things have been a little bit tense or things have been coming up physically, energetically, especially this morning, or there's been disruption in sleep. I mean, Pluto lunar squares happen twice a month. It's not a huge deal, but it is happening right now. So I just figured I mentioned that. But it also it's in the fixed sign. So hello, Millie. Oh, we say hello to you. We'll say hi again. Hello, Claire. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a little tarot, because it is tarot time, and kind of work from there. So I like to do our meditation card for the week. So I ask Spirit, my higher guides, those energies or beings that work with the tarot, to guide me to the right card for this community, for what is going on. So it's getting quite dark out there. Anyway, And Saturn retrograde. Yeah, Saturn, I think, just went retrograde, or it's about to. I think today, right? So, whatever. Saturn stationing, and what else? Is it Neptune, or there's another station? I think it's Neptune. And I have my ephemeris nearby. I can look that up. So let's see. It is a month of June, the last day. So yeah, Saturn actually hit its retrograde on Friday, and Neptune hits its retrograde. It looks like tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah, the way my ephemeris is in Greenwich Mean Time. I don't know the exact time, but anyway, Saturn's in retrograde. Neptune's about to go into retrograde, so they're both stationing. So Saturn station, powerful energy, and keep in mind that Saturn and Neptune are both in the sign of Pisces, so there's a very Neptunian energy in the air, because Neptune rules the sign of Pisces, and Neptune's one of the stationing planets. So if Saturn is about the structures, about the learning, the lessons, karmic stuff, law in general. It's the great teacher of the cosmos, basically. So that's very powerful, and it's in the sign of Pisces, which is very idealistic, very intuitive, very higher mind, and very open in nature. But it can also reveal, with the Neptune quality also being stationed, that can help to catalyze more of the hidden agendas of the society, or those of the ruling class at large, bring them more to the surface, because Neptune can be the illusions and delusions. So yeah, again, interesting week. And for those that jumped on a little later, or that will, what was I gonna say? I think that's I was gonna say something, but my brain got jumbled for a second. Anyway, and the thunder's getting louder, the sky is getting darker. So what else? Glad you're here, Felicia. Too hot to ride horse on the trail yesterday in Arkansas. All right, all right. So I mean, I guess the heat is our gain, because you're here live because it's too hot. All right, big heat in the southeast. I'm aware of that. In a way, the heat may help deflect the Hurricane Barrow, which went from basically a tropical depression to being a major hurricane in like under 30 hours, way out in the Atlantic. So this is already a record storm, as I talked about yesterday, last night as well. Um, but 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 heat is high pressure, and that's probably going to steer the storm south of the U.S. So the Yucatan, Mexico, as well as the southern Lesser Antilles, which is an area that doesn't get a lot of hurricanes. Like areas like Barbados, for example, may get a brush with this. So anyhow, lots is going on with the weather and everything. All right, so I'm gonna do our meditation. Good morning, Linda. And I just didn't see if anybody else popped in just now. Okay, moving right along. So this will be our meditation card for the week. Let me clear my mind a second. I think we got this card, I don't know if it was last week or a couple of weeks ago. So what's in the cup? Maybe that's the meditation. What's in the cup that this cloud with its hand that the universe is offering you right now, basically. And you can also notice the figures, not looking at the three cups that are already standing. There's one looking at the one that's being offered. So I think as a meaning, it's a reminder to stay and be present, and grateful for what we do have, and that's going to actually allow the universe to bring more into our lives to be grateful for. That's just kind of how energy works. So remember the gratitude, and here comes the rain again. And it looks like it's about 9 p.m. It's so dark out right now. Hello, Rosie. Welcome from Wales. Welcome. I always think of the song Misty Mountain Hop, which is one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs when I see somebody coming in from Wales or the country Wales, because that's where the Misty Mountains are that Robert Plant sings about. So that song, it goes from basically New York to the Bay Area to the Misty Mountains. It's one of my faves. Anyway, I just had to mention that. Back to the meditation card. Yes. So how do we meditate with tarot? You can meditate any way you want with tarot. I'm not trying to be a control freak, but the way I do it and the way that I recommend, like any other meditation, this is for the benefit of the newer people. First step is always to get present, relaxed, and open. Then in your mind, you just kind of step into the card. Now I'm working with the Morgan Greer deck. If you have your own tarot cards, pull the Four of Cups, have that in front of you. If not, take a little mental snapshot of this card, and in your mind, step into the card. First thing is, what do you feel? That's our first and one of our best gauges of energies. It's just what we feel, especially if we're able to get our mind present, so we're not thinking about the past and bringing up or spirit saying or dredging up emotions from the past. We don't want that when we go into a meditation. We want to be completely clear and free and open. So if you can do that, then what you feel energetically is the energy of the card. And as you step into a whole panoramic scene, not just a doorway with one little image. Then there may be other scenes, other guides, other beings that are there. So when you go in, see if you get messages, see what you feel, and then ask what's in the cup. Well, what does the universe offer you now? And you may get a lot of insight. You may get some messages. It may be messages from the universe. So anyway, that's the meditation card. And hey, Patriot Chick, and hey, Dora. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, so that's the meditation card. So I'll hold it a little closer so you get a feel of that. And next we will do our 3-card spread for the week. Well, after I have a little water. So for those of you, say in the southern Hudson Valley, New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, points east, the thunderstorm we're getting now, because it's early in the day here, is likely to be the severe weather. Well, not most people won't get severe weather, but there could be some isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms south and east of us this afternoon. Could produce hail, high wind, and an isolated tornado. So keep an eye on the weather if you're in those areas. Any warnings or alerts that come up, just to keep an eye on it. All right, so I'm mixing card up real good. And as I said at the beginning, this may tap into things going on in your own personal lives, as well as what's going on in the world around us. And again, for those that popped in a little late, I've been getting this sense of something very big happening within 2 weeks that may shift the trajectory of things like military action, how different countries are relating, the elections or stuff like that. Since Spirit popped 2 symbols in my mind, one's my symbol for depression, the other's a symbol of a butterfly. I think a message for us also is really not to allow ourselves to get too caught up in what's going on in the world, to be aware, but to try not to feed into it. So if we feel ourselves getting anxious or depressed, try to go back into the heart, feel the heart expanding and opening. And when you're in the heart, that tends to dissolve some of those more challenging feelings that we can have as a response to what's going on in the world. But the butterfly is about metamorphosis. So whatever's going on, even if it's difficult news, that could be in our personal lives, in our community, but more likely in the world at large. It's really about the metamorphosis, about the change our collective consciousness, basically going to a higher level. So also we tend to talk a lot about things like quantum jumping, how to do that, quantum leaping, and humanity's collective consciousness is undergoing a quantum leap, an energetic quantum leap from one level to another. So during that change, things get very dicey. People resist change. It's part of the primitive human survival instinct. That's a broad stroke explanation why people fear change or don't like change, in general. But that's what happens. Then we go into a higher level and a higher frequency. So if we resist those changes, it can show up as enhanced things like ascension symptoms or challenges that way. But if we learn how to relax, open, trust, and flow, it becomes a lot easier. And then you start to get the channeled information, and you start to be the person that's helping other people through the changes in their lives. So the message there is to really stay in the heart, just be open, allow the changes to happen, allow your energy fields to change, and you'll get some interesting downloads, and you'll be able to help others that are struggling also. We're a world community, so we have to honor that. So anyhow, you guys saying before I go into my 3 cards, Fred? Oh, all right. So even down in Virginia, there's severe weather possible. All right. And yes, what's hot yesterday day is more overcast. That's what Rosie's saying, wherever she's at. All right. Hello, rainy Sunday. Yes. So Roseanne, hello, rainy Sunday. I think you're south of us, so be a little bit, aware of the potential for severe weather. But yeah, sometimes with thunderstorms earlier in the day like this, if there's a potential for severe weather, it cools the atmosphere. And thunderstorms, daytime thunderstorms anyway, thrive on the heating of the ground to create those updrafts that feed those storms. So it might actually help that we're getting rain earlier. All right. Anyhow, back to our regularly scheduled 3-card spread. Clearing my mind, because what's the motto here? When we're thinking, we're not connecting. When we're connecting, we're not thinking. I'm going to stop thinking for a second. There we go. I love it because it's like when I'm on the wrong card, it feels a little jagged, and then when I hit the right card, it's almost like yeah. So my body responds to the energy that way. Okay. So the good news is nothing, looks terribly overly dramatic. I want to say, I still feel like it may be, not this week, but next week, I mean, I know Independence Day is coming up, so we can honor our own independence as well as, the Americans celebrating the holiday. Um, you have spiritual independence, and that comes right on, the day after the 5th is when we have the next new moon. So that's going to be the new moon at I believe 14 degrees Cancer. So there's a we'll say an astrological conjunction to the fixed star series. In reality, they're not conjunct at all because the sun and the moon travel very high in the sky in July. Sirius remains very low on the southern horizon, but it's still an astrological conjunction. So I guess it means something anyway. But Sirius is is a portal of awakening, so it kind of beams that energy. Some people that follow the trends of like New Earth stuff, consider that to be like the spiritual sun or the second sun, the star Sirius, because it's the brightest star in the sky. That excludes Jupiter and Venus and Mars since they're planets, but other than that, it's the brightest object in the sky. Yeah, so it was Knight's the main card that's changed. Pentacles can be money. Now, for some of you, I mean, tomorrow's July 1st, maybe a few of you are moving. That happens in the beginning of the month, or changing jobs. I know that there's a lot of people out there that have been looking for work for a while, some more than a year, though the mainstream news will still maintain that unemployment is low, the economy's strong. but what I'm seeing in the world really belies that information. So we wonder. I mean, of course, I'm dealing with an extremely small sample size, so I keep that in mind also. But from what I'm seeing out in the world, jobs are hard to come by, and I get the same, from different people, the same thing. Job opens up, that there's 70 or 80 applicants trying to jump on that one job. So basically, um, so changes in the economy, changes around money. I mean, I'm almost feeling like this is like good news or better news. I almost feel like as I'm looking at this card, it's almost like a sense of relief for people that are really concerned about things like them doing away with cash and all that stuff. We may get a little bit of they're saying a reprieve from that kind of information, maybe just letting us know that that's not going to happen anytime soon, basically, or that there's some measures being put into place to try to strengthen the economy. I think, the U.S. went into like another, $1 trillion of debt or something like that. And I think that some of us can take advantage of debt relief programs that are out there, or the fact that so many people are in debt that they have to do something about it. So I think, I think what they're saying is for a lot of us, we'll get a little bit more favorable news, especially if you've been concerned about money in your life and stuff like that. They're also showing like stepping away from things that bring your energy down through the Three of Cups. So I think some of you are just ready to leave your groups, organizations, just because there's pettiness or too much ego or lack of compassion, or people saying one thing and then doing another, which is something that I don't appreciate. If you don't do as you say, then what good is it, right? So actions speak louder than words. And sometimes the high priestess can bring up gossip also, but it also brings up higher intelligence, like higher emotional intelligence. So be aware of what you're feeling. Your emotions are a big, huge gauge of that. So be aware of that as well. And this kind of also brings a little bit of tension. So right around, the 4th of July, right around that time, there may be some news that comes up that's a little distressing, but keep in mind that sometimes they try to put things out there in the news in a certain way to get people to have a fear reaction. And if it's been proven time and time again that if you can keep people in fear mode long enough, that they're become so programmed that they're willing to conform to things that they wouldn't normally conform to. So that's been long since been a tactic. So again, keep an eye out for that as well. So Roseanne is also saying that her clients as well have been going through the same thing with jobs and money. So yeah, so that's good. That's interesting. And all right, so let's see what else. Yeah, so trust your intuition. This might be a good week for working on psychic development and intuition, working with spirit. So it's a good time to maybe double down on your meditation practice, automatic writing, channeling, stuff of that nature. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think a lot of this is just an encouragement just to leave behind those people, groups, organizations or whatever that you're just not aligned to anymore. People tend to get attracted to this work because they're awakening. I work with spirit to really put that out there in the ethers that I want people to be attracted to the medium channel that are really sincere, honest with themselves and others, and that are on an awakening journey, whatever that means. We're all at different levels, and that's what makes a community great, because there's the elders and there's the newer ones, and we can all share knowledge. I mean, as a quote unquote spiritual teacher who's really a spiritual student, sharing information or whatever, I learned so much from the children and the people that haven't had a lot of experience. It's almost like the Fool card in the tarot. There's an innocence when you go into something new with an open heart, but you don't really know a lot yet. Then you become more open to new information and you become more open to learning. It's the ones that think they know that don't learn. Basically, it's like, how can you learn something if you know everything, right? So we have to, get over that part of our egos if you really want to be open and learn things. Oh, my head's buzzing. The spirit is very strong right now, and this might be a really good day to do a little bit of meditation or some journeying work. That maybe there's something in the astrology that's just getting the energy strong. Behind the scenes, I'm just seeing a lot of planning. I'm seeing a lot of money exchanging. I think that either in the U.S. on Capitol Hill or in Parliament in the U.K. or wherever you are, but I think more in what would be called the major powers of the world. I mean, not to sound America centric, but what happened in the USA has a ripple effect around the world. Basically, it's just how it's set up, and so I think a lot of people, depending on what your political ideologies are, were a little bit taken back by the debate. And I'm going to put that out as the performance of both candidates. Not just Joe Biden tripping on his words when he's a known stutterer, basically, and is known to have, we'll just say, some level of cognitive issues. But there's also the other side too, that's not necessarily always in alignment with the truth. I'll put it that way. So so again, the thing is to stay in the heart. When we're in our heart, we're in the center. When we're in our center, we're in our power. The right wing and the left wing, it's it's the two wings of the same dirty, corrupt bird, right? Um, so I even when I was young and was like, when I was young, like in the 1970s, I was from New York City, a middle class family. It's very cool to be a liberal and a Democrat because we favor progressive change. And in my programming, my belief was that the right wing and the conservative, they want to hold on to the things that just don't work in the world. But the liberals and the Democrats, we want progressive change, but it's all change right now. And as I started to have my awakening, I started to realize, no, it's control by any other name is still controlled, and a two-party system is there to keep that division running strong. And when there's that level of division, not a lot gets done. Look what happens in the U.S. It's very unusual when there's, say, a Republican president that both the House and the Senate have a Republican minority. So there's always like these two different sides. I mean, in a critical thinking way, that could be a good thing, having different ideologies to the table. But when it's used as a tool for division, control, to promote fear and anger, then it's counterproductive, at least in terms of getting the job done in creating the best laws, the best funding for everybody benefit, basically. And anyhow, so what do you say? Hi, Huda. I'm just looking at your comments. Hi, Christina. Done typos. Yes, but same message. All right. So this is a good thing to add to our conversation. I've been saying it again and again. It's a must. Yes, a demon of distraction. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So let's see what else I can glean from this. Again, this doesn't look bad, but I just feel like that clamping down of control energy somehow when I look at these cards. People, again, that the fear agenda. Money is a way to keep people in fear. Keep people in lack mentality and everything. But again, this movement card. Pentacles is grounded, so in a grounded way. You move away from those that are trying to be controlling or trying to program you or trying to pull you into their way of thinking or their way of doing or whatever. The idea is we want to be free. We don't want to be tethered to the programming of the world around us and our own programming also. We don't want to be tethered to that. So get away from those that are petty, that are manipulative. This could be groups or organizations. You find your own path, and the high priestess gives you more intuitive information and more spiritual information to work with. I'm just looking at you guys' comments for a second. So I've got other divination tools, and I may get other messages, and Spirit may input a few more things also. Yeah, I have a very low table. I sit on the floor. I tell people I must have been Japanese in another lifetime because I intentionally buy furniture that I can sit on the floor. So I have a very low coffee table in front of me. Hello, MDR. So let me move on to the medicine cards part. So this is the Native American. No, this is the Native American tarot. I have the medicine cards later on. This is the Native American tarot. Oh, I have my peace pipe here. We will vibrate the energy of peace. Peace is just below enlightenment in the emotional frequency scale, according to Dr. David Hawkins. What's the lowest of the low? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it violence? No, it's guilt and shame. That has the lowest emotional frequency. Again, according to the research of David Hawkins. So what do they try to do? Whether it's the political stuff or certain religious doctrines, they try to make people feel guilty and shameful because it's easier to control. So fear, guilt, shame. If you feel those feelings and you're aware enough, if you're present enough to be aware of that, because emotions are of the body. It's energy and motion that triggers the hormonal system of the body. That's the time to go into the center, to go into the heart. You cannot be programmed if you're purely in the heart frequency, because the hearts know love, they know gratitude, they know compassion. When we feel grateful, we tap into the master frequency. This, according to Dr. Teresa Ballard and Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and others. So when we go into that frequency, gratitude is the master frequency. And why is that? Because we feel grateful naturally when we receive something amazing. And the universe is the ultimate giver, whether you call the universe God or source or spirit, by any other name. You can't get wet by the word water. So that's the vehicle to connect with the ultimate giver and become one with the ultimate giver. So that's why it's the master frequency. So when I do my heart brain coherence, I feel grateful just for the now moment. I've had a lot of skin flare-ups. That started when through a bout of long COVID. So I might be itching, but when I feel my gratitude, doesn't matter, because my personal story doesn't take away from the perfection of the now moment. So when I go into that, it's like everything's perfect. Everything's perfect in the now, and I feel super grateful. And then my heart opens in gratitude, appreciation, love. I feel my brain opening. I feel that connecting with spirit and source. And it's no longer the gratitude, it's the frequency of the energy that I ride that energy into higher consciousness. And from there, you can access the quantum field, because you're already in the quantum field, which is that realm of spirit, or that realm of source that created everything. All time, all space, all possibility exists within that field. So when I'm able to feel grateful and love, we're always in the quantum field. Yeah, every moment we're in that field, but our focus is hyper vigilant on just this one reality, that I'm Adam. I have this body, this thin body of mine, that I have gray and brown hair, all this stuff. That's not who I am. That's just my body, basically. So anyways, hopefully this is making some sense. I think I'm there you go. So there's a little validation of that. Yep. And it sounds to me like Blindly Inspired knows a little bit about the emotional frequency scale. Yes. So Colleen, this is very interesting. I want to address your comment for a second. I need to lose the fear. My response to that is no. You don't need to lose the fear. Rather, you need to embrace the fear, walk with the fear. What is the fear trying to teach you? There's a message behind the fear. Allow yourself to feel it. And by doing that, you'll be able to transcend it, and you'll naturally be able to walk away from that fear. That's my feeling. That's what I do. I don't try to avoid my feelings, because all you do is suppress those feelings. At least that's what I do. Yeah. Yes, these are words. I just look at your comments where, yes, those institutions of deep programming. This is what Millie has to offer us today, one of the many offerings in our chat. Vulnerability energy, and yes, fear. Yes, I'm sadly learning, like the uncomfortable baby eagle who's feeling not fit or correct now. Astro. Oh, nice. That might help on understanding a little bit about ley lines and stuff. In Catholic who gradually receive communion. I am not worthy. So we have to change that programming around. So, I have nothing against religion, just to put that out there. I have everything against control. So the religion itself, that's a way to approach God. I don't have a problem with that. But when it becomes a control, and you must think this way, you must do that, or whatever, then that's when I step away from that. It's not just Catholicism. I've seen that in some yoga traditions. I've seen that in Theosophy, which is a spiritual organization. All of them, basically. The ego runs very deep in a lot of things, and we're here to transcend the ego. Again, not to shun it, not to say it's dirty, it's bad, I hate my ego, blah blah blah. Embrace it, and then we transcend it. So, oh, this is such a lovely comment. I've got to post this. You're a beautiful light in this world. Agreed. Yes. And then, yeah, exactly, MDR. If you're trying to just suppress your fear, you don't get the message. What if it is a premonition of something? I mean, it's a tough world. It's better to be. This is the one I meant to flash. It's better to be aware than not aware, right? And to follow that up, be aware people don't want you to feel worthy and confident. They're easily threatened. Yes. And line I did say yesterday, thank you, and give away a few. All right, and that's kind of, getting back to that, and just seeing like moving away from those that are just really bringing you down energetically for whatever reason. A lot of people, because they're programmed by fear, if you buck the system and you're different, they start to fear you, and they try to control you through fear, through shame, through guilt, all the things we're talking about. I guess that's part of the theme of the day. So back to our Native American tarot, clearing my mind. No thinking. Just the word truth comes up in my mind. I stop thinking truth, and then I'm seeing like a stick and fending off, like the Seven of Wands in the tarot. So it's kind of like we shouldn't have to defend our truth, but sometimes we do. And what do we get? We got a warrior, the warrior of blades. That's like the what's this warrior doing? He's on the side of the horse. That's very interesting. He's not riding the horse. He's on the side of the horse. It's almost like he's becoming part of the horse. Horses represent empowerment in the Native American traditions, freedom, things of that nature, basically. Who's fallen off of their horse recently? That's okay. Don't feel guilty or shameful if you've fallen off your horse. Whatever it is, I every other day or so, I fall off of my horse, and I react to something, like either in anger or whatever. And then when I get back to my heart and my presence, like, these are just hormones in my body that's making me do this. It's not me, basically. It's a reaction. We want to transform reaction to response, right? Reaction is what it is. It's just a blind reaction. Response is more thoughtful, right? So anyway, Style, road, position. I'm gonna see if our horse lady, I can't remember your name, Felicia, if she's still here. Maybe there is a style of riding sideways that I'm not aware of. So what do you say? Maybe he's going to catch the low hanging. Maybe, yeah. And Katie's saying is style, road, position aligned is need. That's a great interpretation. Yeah. And here's another great interpretation. Fall off your high horse and release your ego and control. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. See, warriorship ego really has no place. I mean, like I said, I don't think the ego is bad. It's hard to navigate all that's out there without an ego. That's our. I mean, it's an illusion in